One of the fastest ways to burn yourself out with women is dating the wrong way. And what's crazy is most of you guys don't even realize you doing it. You meet a woman, you start spending money, carving out time, putting in effort and energy, and before you know it, you're frustrated, drained, annoyed because what you getting back does not match what you putting in. You hustling backwards. You running around like a headless chicken. This video is about strategy, dating strategy. Because when your dating approach keeps leaving you burned and frustrated, your energy changes. You start forcing shit. You build up resentment and it manifests itself outwardly and it affects your game, killing your results. I have coached hundreds of men, and this is one of the main mistakes I see across the board. So let me break down what I believe is the smartest way to date if your goal is actually getting results. You know, more sex, genuine connections, and relationships worth having. Now, let me start off by saying this. If you only want sex on some pump and dump, if you only want to have sex with the woman, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, if that's what you want to do not go on dates. It's essentially tricking. You basically provide an experience or something materialistic in exchange for a woman's time or sex. You're not building a relationship. You're not vibing. You are not connecting and getting to know. You're providing something materialistic in exchange for sex. That is essentially tricking. And when this is your strategy, you are going to burn out because what you get out of it is not proportionate to what you put in. I don't care what anyone says. Box alone isn't sufficient enough to cover your time and your energy, because when you have this strategy to where, you know, you only want sex, but you're doing dates, what happens is dates take time. You got to sit there for 2 hours. You got to get clothes together, get your hair cut, plan the date. All of this stuff takes energy. And just to get box alone, it doesn't measure up. Box alone is not worth that time and effort if you only get in a woman's sex. Now, a connection, if you're building a connection with the woman, you like her, you building something, a situationship or a relationship, you know, and it's the right one, that's worth the time and the effort. But box alone isn't. So when you have this strategy to where you think you're going to go on dates and do all this shit, even if you get sex, because you're not going to hit every woman you're going on a date with. But even if you do get the sex from the woman and you get sex with every woman that you have, it's still not going, you're going to burn out at the end of the day because sex alone doesn't equal up to what you putting in. Now, add into the fact that, you know, you go on 5 dates, you get 1. So you're doing all this to get sex and you strike out here, you strike out there, you strike out there, then you get 1. That's definitely not enough to cover the effort and the energy that you put in. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if you only want sex, if all you want to do is pump and dump, do not go on dates. That requires a completely different strategy. To be honest, you better off just asking her how much it costs or what it's hitting for or what that cat hitting for or how much she charged. You better off doing that. Now that that's out the way, when you date and you're getting to know a woman, when you meet a woman, the best thing to do is go low pressure, low investment. I don't want to say low effort because it sounds whatever, but essentially low pressure, low investment, low effort dates. Why? You don't want to overextend yourself because it leads to frustration and burnout if you're not getting what you want. If you're going on dates, you're putting all this stuff in, you're overextending yourself, strike out. You're doing all this stuff, texting, talking, planning, sitting there for 2-3 hours, nothing has happened, you're spending money, you're going to burn yourself out because you overextending yourself. So the best strategy is low pressure, low investment. And also, you don't want to be putting all of that energy and effort into a woman who you don't even know. You don't know this woman. You don't know what she did last summer. You don't know what she did last night. You don't know who meat she had in her mouth. You don't know if she was getting a train ran on her. You don't know if she smoked crack. You don't know if she's got AIDS. You don't know anything about this woman, and you overextending yourself. You're planning these elaborate dates. You trying to impress her and stuff, and you don't even know her. It's just based on physical attraction and a little bit you talk to her. So you want to do something low pressure and low investment, so you're not investing your energy and effort into somebody that you don't really like, somebody that you don't even know. Also, she hasn't earned it. As a man, women must earn the things that you have. Now, low pressure date, low investment date, her being cooperative, her making it easy for you, her being responsive and engaging, I think that's enough for a low pressure date. a low investment date. But the dinners and all of that stuff and the extravagant stuff to where I had to dip into more of my time, dip into more of my mental, dip into more of my resources, and dip into, it starts to get a little bit more expensive. A woman has to earn that. You don't give a woman that away for free, because easy come, easy go. And when you are essentially free and cheap like that, you're often disrespected and disregarded. Simple. When you put yourself in a position to where you're not valuing yourself, women are not going to value you either. So she hasn't earned all of the elaborate stuff and all of the creative stuff that you have in store. That's for your girl, or that's for women who show you that they're worth that. Also, when you overextend yourself and you do this elaborate stuff and you do high pressure, high effort, dinner dates, helicopter rides, all this, you lead with your wallet. And what happens is, when you lead with your wallet, that's a woman's first impression of you. And so if her first impression of you is, oh my God, he has money, he can make my life easier, I can get some money from him, your personality isn't going to matter anymore, because that's the tone you set. And when you show a woman you're trying to impress them with money, you get pegged and put into what we call a trick bag, where women designate you as, okay, this is the guy that can take care of me. This is the guy that I can get money from. And you're not going to be able to compete with that, because that's about survival. Your personality and love and connection, that's the luxuries of life. Money and resources is about survival. And so if that's the established situation or relationship that you have with that woman, your personality will never be able to compete with that. There's no way on earth that you will ever be able to outswag your money and your resources. Now, if you are well-to-do and established and you hook with the personality first, then your lifestyle and your resources and your money, that's a bonus. But you have to hook with personality and who you are first, because then it's like, okay, he's nice, he's handsome, he checks the boxes, he's tall, he's whatever the case may be. He's sexy, I like him, the vibe is good, and he had a good lifestyle, and he got money. It's a bonus. You didn't lead with that. So you hooked them first. The first impression is you. You led with you. But when it's the other way around, you're just going to get put in the trick bag. Now, if you are leading with your wallet and you can't afford it, you just goofy. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. If you're trying to lead with your wallet and you spending all your money to get dates and all that shit and you can't afford it, goofiness, game goofy, you need to hit the reset button. You need to hit me up for coaching if you're doing that. But for my guys who can afford it and well-to-do, I understand that you have a lifestyle that you want to live. You want to just bring a woman into your world. But the thing with that, and I've coached several men through this, and I've been through this myself, right? My high net worth guys. The thing with that is, like back in my 20s, when I first started getting a lot of money, I wanted to do fly shit. I wanted to go eat nice steaks and drink Perrier's UA Rosé, $600 bottles and $1,000 tabs and sleeping in suites and all this old shit. And, I want to go out on a Friday night, had a good week. I want to go out on a Friday night and enjoy my time with a nice little breezy that I just met. This is just my lifestyle. I'm not trying to impress her. It's not my intent to impress her. But we sitting here at Roof Chris. She think I'm trying to impress her. In her mind, I'm leading with my wallet. I'm leading with my wallet. Now, that's not my intentions, but intentions don't matter in this life. Intentions don't matter in the game. It's about the results of your action. It's about what you're doing. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Don't ever forget that. But so she think that I'm trying to impress her. And so she get into this diva mode and she gets into this, oh my God, I want to keep this. So I don't need to act like I act with Ratchet, Raheem, and Tyrone and Chad and them that I met at the club. I need to show him that I'm different so I can keep this level of lifestyle up, right? So I can keep getting this type of stuff, especially if she's not used to it. So I can keep getting this. And so instead of where she may, most guys she let him hit it on the first night or the first date or whatever the case may be. She gonna string you along because in her mind, if she give you some, you're going to think that she's a hoe, and then you're not going to keep treating her like the lady and giving her all this extravagant lifestyle. So she's just going to string you along and string you along and string you along. I went through this when I first started getting money. I quickly learned how to tighten my game up and know how to present myself like that. And so I had to do the low effort and the low pressure and the low investment type stuff. And when they earned that, then they got that type of lifestyle when they earned it. So That's just a part of the game. Now, if you don't care, if you still want to live your fly lifestyle, you want to have, do you, but I'm telling you, it's going to come with consequences. And I've had to coach several men. Again, I've been through it myself. I've had to coach several men who are well-to-do do this exact same thing. They doing helicopter rides, Michelin star restaurants, $2,000 bill, all this extravagant shit, black cars, black trucks, and all of this shit. And the woman put them in a trick bag, and they can never outswag their money. They can never outdo or and they want a genuine connection. They just bringing a woman into their world, but that's not how the woman look at it. So low effort, low pressure, low investment when you first meeting a woman. Now, I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, King Dre, what should I do to slow effort? What can I do to slow investment? What can I do to slow pressure? I got you. Since you ain't using your brain, I gotta think for you, but it's all good. I don't like thinking for people, but right now I got you. Now, dessert spots. Very, very, very good. Now I'm gonna do a separate video probably in a couple of days I'm just gonna go straight in on dessert spots and the pros and cons of the different, not dessert spots, but date spots and the pros and cons and stuff like that. I'm gonna break that down in a separate video. But dessert spots, phenomenal. Drinks at an arcade or bowling alley, phenomenal. Low pressure, low cost, low investment. Now, when you go to the arcade or bowling alley, you don't have to bowl or play the games. Just go sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, chill vibe, nice ambiance, a lot going on, colors, vibe, the whole 9 yards. Park dates. Now, that's kind of iffy. And again, I'm going to break that down but in another video. But that's kind of iffy because it may be hot. And, this is my favorite. One of my favorites. Pool or darts at a chill lounge. Pool. You ain't gonna go wrong with pool, trust me. Pool is cool. Mini golf, scenic walks on the riverfront, nice park. In these scenic walks or these waterfronts, or you like downtown, or like we got a place called like Riverwalk or whatever the case may be. A lot of the times it's these cheap food trucks, not even cheap, but affordable food trucks. It ain't, you can go get you some tacos or go get you whatever the case from the food trucks. So it's food there if you need it, and pop-up events. So like if there's a food festival going on or whatever they got downtown or where they have these little events, you can go do that with, a woman you just met. Again, low pressure, cool. You can talk, vibe, establish yourself. Now, King Dre, what about coffee? Coffee used to be good, but y'all done got on the internet with all these think pieces about coffee and the benefits and the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, sharing the game with the women because we're talking to other men, but women can hear it and see it. And so what happens is women see, oh, guys are taking us for coffee because they're trying to be low effort and they don't want to put a lot of effort in. So they want to put a little bit in and get a lot. And so coffee has a bad stigma now. When you say, I want to go do coffee, typically not, and it's because of these influencers have an impression on a lot of women. So they tell women, oh, coffee dates is bad. The dude just don't want to put no effort into you. He just trying to get you for cheap and blah, 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 especially all these master whore teaching women to be glorified prostitute influencers. And so a lot of women listen to this, and when they hear coffee, it's like a buzzword and it triggers them. He trying to finesse me out my box. That's how they see it. It used to be 2017, 18, 19, coffee used to be especially them niche coffee spots, man, the golden age, the golden days. But coffee played out. Just like Applebee's and Red Lobster and Olive Garden, man, them places back in like the 2010s and the 2008, 9, 10s and shit like that. Man, those spots used to be, that was like almost guaranteed like vibe, right? But then as social media started to become more popular and people start talking about it on the internet and guys start doing the 2 for 20 when the 2 for 20 was popping, women started shaming other women about letting dudes take them to Applebee's for 2 for 20 in these spots. But back in the days, especially like Red Garden and Olive Garden, and Red Lobster, that was like, oh, he think, oh man, this is nice. I love him. He taking me here. So they used to work, but nowadays, it ain't giving that no more because it got a bad stigma. Even cheesecake is starting to get that stigma. Cheesecake Factory back then was like, that was almost like guaranteed ass Cheesecake Factory because it wasn't too much like you trying to impress because it's not super expensive, but it's a nice spot. Now you got the women saying, oh, cheesecake is low effort. And so now women are believing this bullshit. So be careful of the stigma spots, right? The spots that have stigmas on it, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of women, most women, they're going to hear it and they're going to think you're trying to finesse them. Now, once you got your spots together, now you got to get your logistics together. And the logistics is the ease, how easy it is to get back and forth to the date. The less pressure, the better. So if the date is through traffic at 5 p.m. and you got to sit in traffic and it's hard to get to, and she got to catch an Uber and say, that's too much. You got to have your logistics on point. You got to make sure everything is going smooth and comfortable and convenient for both parties. You know, ideally for you, but for the woman as well. So it can be comfortable and convenient for her. So she's not annoyed or she's not triggered or, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, you don't want, again, a woman sitting in traffic at 5 p.m. That's bad date logistics. You don't want to meet outside. You know, she lived 45 minutes from you, but then you picking a spot 45 minutes away from both of y'all. So now it's an hour and a half. That's too much. You know, then when it's time to bring it on home, when it's time to close, she's like, oh, where you stay again? I got to go to work in the morning because you live 2 hours away versus, oh, you know, go, you know, but where you live at? Oh, I live, you know, up the street, 10 minutes away. Boom. The distance does matter. And I'm not saying distance is going to hinder you, because I've had several instances where, you know, I was far out or whatever, or I would go closer to where the woman was at. And, you know, it would be far back from my house, and then we got to drive 45 minutes back to get to my house, and it worked. I got game like that. But if you don't got game like that, then you want to make sure your logistics, the better your logistics and the better the ease, convenient, and comfort of getting there and back home or back to your spot, the better the logistics, the better results you're going to get. Now, I see this a lot with guys and their logistics, and I just had to coach a guy through this. When you go on a date, and this is a lot of, especially younger guys who live with their mamas and stuff. I just did an episode about living with your mama and leaving the nest because they're not aware of this type of stuff. But what happens is, it's a lot of times you guys go on a date and you don't have your shit together. Like, you don't have an exit plan. You don't know what you're going to do after. You don't know what you're going after, especially my guys that live at back at the nest, right? So what happens is, with my guy that I just coached, he met a woman, everything was going good. Vibe was there. He escalating, they touching, it's getting freaky. So now he trying to figure out somewhere to go, and him trying to figure out and scramble somewhere to go, because he can't go back he can't take her back home because his mom lived there, right? And his mama's home, and she lived with a bunch of people. So now he trying to scramble and figure out what to do, right? So now he trying to book a hotel. Then this hotel is messed up, and so now he got to go down the street and book this. And so she ended up getting turned off because the sexual tension that he built up, it dissipated. Instead of them releasing it through sex, the energy dissipated because the vibe got killed because he didn't have his shit together. The transition wasn't smooth. It was rocks and bumps in the road, and now it became inconvenient and uncomfortable. So you got to have your shit together. If you go on a date, when I say have your shit together, know what's going to happen next. Know where you're going. If you live with your parents and you got to book a hotel room, establish a relationship with the hotel, with a hotel. Back in my 20s, I didn't like bringing women to my house. So I used to use Hampton Inn and Suites, Days Inn, not the Days Inn, it was extended stays, Hampton Inn and Suites. I want to say Best Western Deluxe. It was something, but they had kind of upgraded. It was when they got renovated and all that shit. It was one of those, but Hampton Inn and Suites was my spot. That was my spot. And I had relationships with the people that worked there, and a bunch of different ones. So if I didn't want to bring her back to my crib, because the way that I was living and the lifestyle I live, I definitely wasn't going to no woman's crib. That's crazy. I don't know if she's setting me up or she got a crazy baby daddy, whatever the case may be. I always wanted to be in control of the environment. But you guys are squares. I'm a square too now, but you guys don't live like that. So that's outside of her having a boyfriend. That's not something you really got to worry about. But me, that's just how I used to think back then. So I didn't bring women to my house. So, but I would have relationships with these spots. So, and then I had accounts and all that stuff. So all I got to do is go on the app, boom, book, we in there. So if I it's getting frisky, we go in the car and I'm like, oh, follow me. I just book it real quick. If it's booked, go to I had it together. I knew where I was going. But when you don't have it together and it's just that awkward, well, let me figure this out. And you're trying to figure it out. And now her energy is dissipating. Her horniness is coming down, and it's just like, okay, I'm just ready to go home now. And so that happened to him. It happened to a lot of guys that I coach, especially my younger guys. So have your shit together when it comes to logistics, because you're going to fumble a lot when you don't. Now, you want to know the absolute best date idea, because a lot of you guys, and I just gave y'all some ideas, and this is stuff that I would do. This stuff that I like doing, especially the pool and the fly player walk, spot of water, and the dessert spots. Because I love sweets. So this is stuff that I would do, right? But if it ain't what you would want to do, which is cool, you can take that. But the best date ideas is whatever you want to do. Bring her into your world, into your life, so she could see. That way you're not trying to plan and do stuff that's out of your element. You want to do things that's in your element. That type of stuff was in my element. That's what I used to like to do. I love them little niche cookie spots and ice cream spots and niche. I used to go to these little ice cream spots, not like Cold Stone, but like the mom and pop with the cool hippie vibes. Them used to be the vibes. You know, it still is. I like stuff like that. I go there by myself and eat. So bring a woman into your world so she can get to know you, and you can vet her in your world on your terms. Don't never let a woman tell you, oh, I don't want to do that. Let's do that. If she do that, well, how about dinner instead? I want to be courted instead. That's low effort. She say any of that, don't even respond. Move on to the next. All right? Do what you want to do. Figure out what you like doing and your hobbies and things that you like doing that's low pressure, low effort. But you got to have a good date strategy. And this is pretty much how I date. That's my dating strategy. And this is a date strategy, everything discussed in this video. This is how I teach my guys how to date. So if you implement that, you can tailor it to how you, just make sure you following the rules of the game. But if you implement that, you'll be all right. Now, if you need a little bit more help, you need me to help you, get with you and work with you one-on-one. So I could figure out and create you a custom game plan tailored to you so you can show up as the best authentic version of yourself. And the ladies just drop to their knees because they just love you and they're giving you the sex and the relationship and the love and the loyalty. If you need that, I got you. I can get you there. I can make you that man in 8 weeks. And if you don't get there in 8 weeks, I work with you at no additional cost until you do. That's my coaching. That's what I offer you. Click the link in the description or the show notes or the bio, wherever you're seeing this at, and click that coaching link. I think it's going to say apply for coaching or something like that, and hop on a free call with my team and I got you. Now, if you just need to learn how to text, you need a quick little fixer upper, you need a, quick little program. You don't need all that help. You could take a program and get in the game and take the program and run with it and tailor it to your game. Complete Attraction Mastery, which covers attraction, personality, texting, communication, physical attraction. I got the conversation starters that spark chemistry. So if you don't know what to say, boom, I got a template with things that you can say and get the vibe going. All of that. Very, very affordable. Click this, the second link called Complete Attraction System. Get it while it's affordable, because I know it's hot stuff. I know the guys like it. I know the guys love it. I know the value. And when I get in one of my moves and I raise the prices, it ain't coming back down. So get that. But anyway, that's been my time, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hype this video. Hype the video. I've been telling y'all hype, but I ain't had a hype setting turned on. So hype it. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way we can get this good game fresh off the press. Hype the video. That way we could spread this game and not negativity. That's been my time. I'm your gracious game advisor. Yours truly, King Dre. Till next time.